there's stories about that are, there was a great story in Al Jazeera about the U.S. government's policy now of creating this border crisis by essentially preventing people from coming into the border. I mean, you can only apply for asylum when you're in the United States. And U.S. law has said, how you get in is how you get in, but as long as you attempt to apply, then you get into the system. So they are basically keeping people from outside, and they're preventing them from crossing the border to apply for asylum. This is creating this crisis situation on the border. And I mentioned that, we've been talking about this for the past couple of days, about all the different ways that the right wing has been prevaricating about this. Like, there's actually more men than women and children in the caravan. True. As if, A, that means that there's no women and children, and which is decidedly untrue. Maybe it's a 30-70, maybe it's a 40-60 split, maybe it's 20-80. But you're still tear gassing or pepper spraying women and children.
And then men who women and children may be depending on, but
aren't there. And then number two is, like, it's not such a great thing just to pepper spray men. I mean, like, I don't understand like, why all of a sudden, like, oh, yeah, you can pepper spray men. But here is Geraldo Rivera on Fox News, knowing that his job is to be the stick in the mud. Very rare occasions, but very rarely he does it. And here he is with the odious and equally moronic Jesse Waters, interrupting this Jesse Waters moment to deliver what I think is a pretty impressive, heartfelt plea for some shred of decency and humanity from these people.
The president will be speaking at a rally in Mississippi this hour, and we're going to be monitoring it, and we'll bring you the latest. All right, so Geraldo, on the tear gas situation, everybody is showing in the mainstream media this one image of the mom and the young girl fleeing. But what they're not showing is that they're surrounded by almost all men who had been, violently attacking and throwing things and taunting the Border Patrol. Do you think that's honest what the media is doing, or dishonest?
I refuse to deal with this as a media issue because it's far too important. With all due respect, Jesse, this is something that goes to the very quick. This goes to my soul.
Right, but that's how the audience is consuming
fulfilling my role as the designated piñata on Fox News. I want to say
that's racist.
I am ashamed. This tear gas choked me. We treat these people, these economic refugees, as if they're zombies from The Walking Dead. I think we arrested 42 people. 8 of them were women with children. We have to deal with this problem humanely and with compassion. These are not invaders. Stop using these military analogies. This is absolutely painful to watch. We are a nation of immigrants. These are desperate people. They walk 2,000 miles. Why? Because they want to rape your daughter or steal your lunch? No, because they want a job. Well, they want to fill the millions of unfilled jobs we have in the agricultural sector. They want to wash dishes in the restaurants. They want to deliver the pizzas. For goodness sake, I can't. We suspend our humanity when it comes to this issue, and I fear that it is because they look different than the man.
Geraldo, can I respond? Because I understand what Geraldo is saying, but you cannot demean people for looking at this and seeing this as a violation of a process.
Oh, no, you don't know what the process is. The violation of the process is actually on behalf of the Trump administration, which is not allowing these people to come in, apply for asylum, have their asylum claims or petitions adjudicated, and then either be granted asylum or rejected for asylum and told to go home. Now, if it was up to me, I would have a far more lenient process one that wasn't so requiring of such a high bar in terms of asylum. But that's the process. So this is, Gutfield's position is a retreat to attempt, in the light of being shamed for having no humanity, to make it about process. And he's lying here too, because he's got no answer for that as well.
They do this move where it says you can't blame people for looking at this and seeing what they're seeing, like broken process or like rocks being thrown, right? But they're creating the impression that people
they're the ones who are mediating what's going on down there.
You can't blame them for believing our lies and propaganda.
Exactly.
Geraldo.
Exactly.
You can't blame them having
Geraldo,
incredible...
if they're watching the 5, they're watching the rest of the tripe on this network. And every day
Geraldo, they've been watching us lie about it and give them anxiety attacks.
Exactly.
In fact, we should be held legally accountable for premature aging and heart attacks of isolated old people watching this garbage all day.
And that's why you could look at the ads that they offer, and then it all comes together.
And speaking about the economic nationalism in some of these arguments they're making, I saw a stat on Twitter that which is clearly a great source, if you just gave $1 million to every person in the caravan, the government would come out ahead. And I believe it, considering how much it costs to station all those troops there.
Oh yeah. The cost that they're expending on, housing 14,000 children, let's say, or the cost that they expended on the hundreds of millions of dollars to send troops down there. And be clear, I don't think the military troops are actually even engaging in this. I don't know that they're even, they're just there as like backup.
But the military presence and brutality is the investment they're making.
Right. They think it's going to have long-term payoffs.
Yep.